Good morning, everyone. In chapter 4 is plant kingdoms. Plant kingdom. We have 5 short answer questions. So we'll discuss each short answer question in detail. So before we discuss plant kingdom, short answer, let's know some information on plant kingdom. Yes. Here, generally, plant kingdom has 5 rules. Plant kingdoms divided into 5 groups. In that first one, algae, and second one, bryophytes, and third one is pteridophytes, and the fourth one is gymnosperm, and the fifth one is angiosperm. So likewise, there are 5 plant groups are there. Among 5 plant group, the first 3 plant group like algae, bryophytes, and pteridophytes. These 3 plant groups are non-plant group. So this non-flowering plant group is also known as crypto. And these 2 plant group like gymnosperm and angiosperms are flowering group, flowering plant group, are also known as phanerogamous, are also known as another name for this phanerogam, spermatophyte. So like the plants group are classified into 5 plant kingdoms, classified into these 5 groups. Okay. Yes. So here the first questions which is related to algae. So here I am writing first the question. Take another short answer question here. That is differentiate between red algae and brown algae. So here we need to differentiate between red algae and brown algae. So we have some information and some important point regarding to algae. So but here in exam you no need to write this introduction part. Just you need to write the differentiate between red algae and brown algae. Okay, for your kind information. So no, do not read anything like in introduction part, no need to write. Okay, so it is for your understanding only. I am explaining the introduction regarding to the algae. Yeah, so here I am explaining so about introduction to algae. First introduction to algae. So generally algae are very important introduction. You need to remember they are chlorophyllus containing. They are algae are chloro or pairing plant group, and they are simple plant group. They are thalide, very important. Their body is thalide body. The thalide body means the plant body is thalide. It means that the undifferentiated plant body they have. Means their plant bodies does not differentiate into root, stem, leaf. So here like simple filamentous bodies only it has, that is undifferentiated plant body, or also we can use thalide body. Remember they are chlorophyll, hence they are autotrophic, prepare their own food. One more important, very important, these algae are mostly aquatic habitat. So aquatic habitat. So both freshwater and marine water. Their habitat to freshwater and marine water. Both. One more important thing here on the basis of pigmentation and types of reserve food material. Here on the basis of pigmentation and reserve food types of reserve food material, these algae are classified into 3 classes. Like here I am writing. Those 3 classes are first here chloro, and second class is phaeophyce, third one is rhodo. So here remember this chlorophyce also known as green algae, rhodophyce also known as brown algae, and here phaeophyce known as brown algae, rhodophyce known as red algae. So based on pigmentation and types of reserve food material, the algae are classified into 3 classes, in which chlorophyce, phaeophyce, rhodophyce are green algae, brown algae, red algae. So short answer explanation. Among these 3 classes of algae, red algae and brown algae only. Okay. So let's we discuss and let's we differentiate between red algae and brown algae. Okay. So let's we start short answer question differentiate between first red algae and brown algae. We need to differentiate like this. First futures. So remember heading like futures is characters, and about red algae features and brown algae. Okay, red algae and brown algae. Yes. So here first features. Here first feature is belongs to classes. So here red algae belongs to rhodo class, and here brown algae belongs to phaeophyce class. Remember. Okay. And here second difference is about pigment. So here the red algae contain major pigment and another pigments. So here the major pigments in red algae is chlorophyll. Here I am writing chlorophyll A and D. Remember chlorophyll A and T. So generally in chlorophyll we have A to E, A, B, C, D, E. So in which A is universal. Remember, A pigment is universal. Here the major pigment present in red algae, that is chlorophyll A and D. And other pigments also present, that is R, another pigment R phycoerythrin pigment. So due to presence of this pigment, the color of the algae is red in color. So due to which color of the red algae is red in color, red color. Remember. So due to presence of this R phycoerythrin, the color of the algae is red in color. Same like here in brown algae, the major pigment is chlorophyll pigment. In chlorophyll A and C, remember A and C. So just now I said A is the universal pigment which is present in all type of algae, brown algae and red algae. So here A and C pigments are present in brown algae. And other pigment also there, so that is picoxanthin. And due to presence of this picoxanthin, the color of the algae is brown in color, brown color. Okay, so this is the two differences. And again with third differences here. Yes, so here third, that is reserve food material, the stored food material. Reserve food material are nothing but, here I am writing stored food material. So here in first red algae and brown algae. Yes, first here the reserve food material in red algae is Floridian starch. In case of brown algae, there are two reserve stored food material are there. So here one is lami and mannitol. So this laminarian and mannitol are reserve food material in brown algae. Floridian starch is a reserve food material in red algae. Okay. So next fourth point, fourth features or fourth characters. So that is their cell wall, very important. Cell wall composition. So in red algae, commonly cell wall is cellulose. Commonly cellulose. And here pectin and very important polysulfate ether. PAC means polysulfate ether. So with these three composition, the cell wall is made up of in red algae. So in case of brown algae, which is made up of with like cellulose is common and very important algine. So algine is a composition of cell wall in brown algae. Here 2, here 3. Remember PAC polysulfate ether. And next fifth point here about their asexual reproduction strategies. Asexual reproduction. So here about asexual reproduction, the red algae asexually reproduce by non-motile spores. Very important. They reproduce non-motile spores. So here non-motile spore also known as plano. Their asexual reproduction occur by non-motile spore are also known as aplanospores. But here motile spores. So this motile spore also known as zoospore. Here I am writing the motile spore also known as zoo. Remember. Okay. So these are 5 points you need to remember. And example here you need to remember examples also, very important. You have to write examples in exam also. Okay, so examples for red algae, here I am writing example for red algae. Yeah, so here example for red algae. First, very important, gelidium and grassi. You have to write any one or two example, it's enough. Poly, and one more example, that is porphyra. So porphyra, polysyphonia, gracilaria, gelidia, all these are example for red algae. Now coming to example for brown algae, so in which we have laminaria and ecto and sargassum, dictyota, and one more, that is fucus. So these are the 5 example of brown algae. You need to write any one or two example, it's enough. So this is all about the differentiate between red algae and brown algae. So remember 5 important characters or features, classes there, sorry. Okay. So you need to remember 5 important features like classes, their pigments and their reserve food material or stored food material, their cell wall composition or asexual reproduction, and examples. Okay, so these are the 6 points you need to write in exam, annual exam. Okay, yes. So next, second short answer question. So that is differentiate between liverworts and mosses. Okay, so we have to differentiate. So before we differentiate liverworts and mosses, explanation on this liverworts and mosses. So generally liverworts and mosses are belongs to bryophyta plant group. So let's we discuss about bryophytes. Here I am writing about bryo. So here bryophytes are their thallus body, but algae body is thalloid body. But here bryophyta body is thallus like body. Plant body is false differentiated. So here the body is false differentiated plant body. Here, remember, thallus-like body means false differentiated plant body. Means their plant body differentiated root-like, but not true root. And the plant body differentiate like stem-like only, but not true stem, and leaf-like, but not true leaf. So this type of body is known to be as a bryo or thallus body. So okay, and these plant bodies are archegoniate. Remember, bryophytes are archie, means they contain archegonium as a sex organ. Very important, bryophytes are embryophytic, so they develop embryo plant body. And here they are a tracheophyte, very important, a tracheo plant body. Here A means absence, tracheophyte means they absence, they do not contain vascular tissues. Here vascular tissues are nothing but like xylem and phloem. So water conducting, food conducting tissues are absent, hence they are A means absent, a tracheophytic plant group. Remember, all these bryophytes are cryptograms only. So crypto means non-flowering plants. So remember, all these are the important points about bryophytes. And also here, remember two important notes here. Bryophytes are considered as a amphibian of the plant kingdom. So here, bryophytes are amphi of the plant kingdom. Bryophytes are considered as a amphibian of the plant kingdom. Because of, why means, because of bryophytes live in moist soil. They live in moist soil, and they depends on water for fertilization. They depends on water for fertilization, and they live on soil, moist soil. So means they live on soil and water, hence they are shown as amphibian of the plant kingdom. Okay. And one more important note here you need to remember, these bryophytes are primitive land plants. They are primitive land plants. Very well. The primitive land plants plant group is only bryophytes. Okay, remember. And these bryophytes include three classes. So these three classes we will discuss here. This bryophyte plant groups include three classes. Okay, here. So here first is hepatic, and hepatic capsida means liverworts, and second one is anthocerapsida, nothing but horn, and the third one is bryoxida, are also called mosses. In bryophyte, hepatic capsida is a primitive plant group, primitive class, and it is a mosses are the advanced class of bryophyte. Hepatic capsida, liverworts are primitive plant groups in bryophytes. Okay. So in questions here, see, differentiate between liverworts and mosses. So here we need to differentiate between hepatic capsida and bryospida. Okay, right. Yes. First, features of liverwort and mosses. Okay. So here first feature. So belongs to various classes. Also common name, liverworts commonly known as, or belong to class. So liverworts belongs to which class? So here belongs to hepatic, and this one belongs to bryospida. Okay. Next, here second point about plant body. Flat plant body. Flat body. Here flat body means their plant body can't differentiate dorsal and ventral. Hence they are called dorsiventral thallus. They has dorsiventral thallus body are present, and their body is very simple plant body they have. Now coming to here bryophytes. In bryophytes, their body is upright plant body, means they differentiate their plant body are differentiated into like root, like stem, like and leaf. Okay. And their uh, these are their body are appear like leafy, and it is an advanced plant body it has, like having root, stem, leaf like structures. Okay. Sex organs. Here sex organ in liverworts. Sex organs. Here the sex organ in liverworts are born on different thallus. The sex organ born on different thallus. So here male and female sex organs are developed in different thallus. Male anterior markentia, female markentia. But here see in which born on these sex organs are born on leafy gametophyte plant body. Okay. Next, fourth character here, vegetative reproduction. So here vegetative reproduction in liverworts by two methods, like by fragmentation and also by gamma. Here also the vegetative reproduction by two important methods. Here also by fragmentation, here budding. Here by budding. So here by budding, and here remember gamma. Okay. and one more differences. Next, fifth differences here. Their sporophyte plant body in liverworts are small, or sometimes the sporophyte plant body in liverworts are reduced. But in mosses, the sporophyte plant body is more elaborated. Sporophyte plant body are seen in mosses. Okay, so and next sixth point here about their spore dispersal. So here every sporophyte plant body produce spores in their capsules. Here the spore dispersal in liverworts by a structure which is present in their capsule, that is elaters, by elaters. So this elater structure which is present in capsule of sporophyte plant body capsule. And here in spore dispersal in mosses by peristomial teeth, very important, peri teeth. So there are 32 peristomial teeth are present in mosses. So through this peristomial teeth present in capsule of sporophyte plant body in mosses capsule. A sporophyte plant body are nothing but, so here the plant body are differentiated into three structures, like for example root-like structure, stem-like structure, and leaf-like structure. If any plant bodies are differentiated into leaf, stem, root, such plant bodies here sporophyte plant body. And this sporophyte plant body has two when diploid in nature and consists of like capsules. See, this structure is known to be as a capsules. Okay, and these capsules contain, inside the capsules there is a spores are present. Okay, spores are present and dispersal by various mechanism. In liverworts, the spores are dispersal by elaters, and in mosses, the spores are dispersal by peristomial teeth. Remember, in sporophyte plant body. Okay, and from these spores of sporophyte plant body later germinate into another plant body, that is gametophyte plant body. So haploid in nature. Okay, so here gametophyte plant body and here sporophyte plant body, both type of plant body are exhibited by this bryo. So but here gametophyte plant body are not differentiated into root, stem, leaf like, and these gametophytic plant body they contain sex organs, like they contain male sex organ, female sex organ, like that. Okay, so remember what is gametophyte here, what is sporophyte plant body. So here important thing, sporophyte plant body has diploid nature, gametophytic plant body is haploid in nature. Remember. So here spores are dispersed by elaters. Here in mosses, spores are dispersed by peristomial teeth. Next point here. Yes. Seventh point. Need to remember. Their germination types. Germination. So after spore get dispersal, they undergo germination. Here in liverwort, the germination in liverwort, the spores directly here. Spores directly germinate into free living gametophyte plant body. Into free living means they do not depend on sporophyte plant body. They are free living gametophyte plant body. So here spores directly germinate into free living gametophyte plant body. Just now we discussed spores develop or germinate into gametophyte plant body here. But in case of mosses, here very important, the spores forms in case of mosses, the spores which forms a creeping and green and branched gametophytic plant body, creeping, green or branched. Like for example here in this spores, think it is a spores which is develop or germinate creeping like this, and it is green in color and it has like branches. This creeping green like structures which is developed like this develop first developed stage, that is it is a first juvenile gametophytic plant body. So first developed as a juvenile gametophytic plant body. The juvenile gametophytic plant body is also known as protonema. Important, proto. So first develop as a protonema structure here, in which the spores first form, like here spores directly develop into protonema first, but protonema itself is not a complete gametophytic plant body. Appear means they are creeping green in color or branched structures, and is a primary juvenile children stage, child stage. So juvenile gametophytic plant stage is known to be as a protonema. From this protonema stage, there is a leafy stage will be developed like this. Later this protonema develop into adult stage or also leafy stage, and this adult stage and leafy stage is known to be as a gametophore stage of gametophyte plant body. So in gametophyte, there are two stages. First, juvenile stage is protonema stage, and here second stage here this protonema. See, this is what gametophore stage, and here this creeping like structure is juvenile protonema stage. Well, this is what proto stage, and this one gametophore stage of gametophyte plant body. Okay, remember. So, but here not directly in mosses. the adult mosses here, in which first develop into juvenile stage, that is protonema, later which is developed into adult stage, that is gametophore stage in this mosses. Remember, so like this germination will be occur. Liverworts and mosses examples, very important examples here. Remember examples for liverworts, that is Markensia. So here mosses examples here. So here I am writing examples for Markensia. So here example for Markensia, you need to remember that is funaria. Most advanced bryophyte is funaria. So this funaria is also known as cod moss. Another name also remember, cod moss. And one more example, that is poly. So polytrichum exam, another name hair cap moss. And one more last, sphagnum. So here sphagnum also name, also another name, peat moss. So these are, remember, these are the three important mosses plants: funaria, polytrichum, sphagnum, cod moss, hair cap moss, peat moss. Okay, so here all these points you need to write in as a short answer questions. Okay, yes. Next, third short answer question. So that is, what is mean by homosporous and heterosporous? What is mean by homosporous and heterosporous pterido, and give two example. Give two example. Okay, right. So before we discuss this homosporous heterosporous pteridophyte, let's we have some introduction regarding to pteridophytes. Remember, so no need to write this introduction part. Just for your understanding only, here I am explaining about pteridophytes introduction. Yeah. So about here I am writing about pteridophytes here. So few points. First, pteridophytes are carmophytes. These are, they have carmophyte plant body. Carmophytes plant body. Carmophyte plant body. Here carmophyte plant body means they have true differentiated plant body. True differentiated plant body means they have true root, true stem, true leaf, like this. So true root, true stem, and true leaf. Root, stem. This type of plant body is called carmophyte plant body. So here pteridophytes are carmophytic plant body. Remember, very important. And second point here, they are embryophytic plant body. Means they develop embryo after zygote formation. And the third one, they are archegoniate. This plant body are archegoniate plant body. So they contain female sex organ here. And fourth one, very important point here, pteridophytes are the first terrestrial. Remember, first terrestrial plant completely. First complete terrestrial plant body are pteridophyte only. Remember one more point, they are first tracheophytic plant body. They are first tracheophytic plant body. Their first tracheophytes means are nothing but they are contained vascular tissues. Their vascular tissues are nothing but their xylem and phloem. So these vascular tissues which help for conduction of water and mineral. So here xylem for water and phloem for food conduction. So first vascular tissues are present in pteridophyte. Hence they are first tracheophytic plant body. And we know that, so these pteridophyte are cryptogams. So means non-flowering plants. Cryptogam plant body. Cryptogamic plant body. Okay. So remember all these important points regarding to this pteridophyte. And one more important thing here, this pteridophyte plant includes 4 classes, which include 4 classes here. This pteridophyte plant group include 4 classes. Yeah. So here we'll discuss 4 classes. So here first Psilopsida, here I'm writing first class Psilopsida, and the second one is Lycopsida, and the third one is Spinops, and the last and fourth one is Pterospida. So these are the four classes are belongs to this pteridophytic plant group. So one is first Psilospida, Lycospida, Spinospida, Pterospida. So with their example here, Psilospida include Psilotum example, Psilotum, and here Lycospida include Lycopodium. Two example here you need to remember. One is Lyco, and also remember Selaginella, very important. Selagi. So this two plant belongs to Lycospida. And coming to Spinospida, example here Equisitum plant group. Remember. And coming to Pterospida, so here example for Pterospida I am writing here. So in which we have Pteris plant group and Triopteris and Edianthus. So these are the three important plant groups present in this Pterospida. And one more important point here you need to remember. So that is, among these 4 classes, Psilospida is a primitive class in Pteridophyte. Is a primitive class. But here Pterospida, last fourth one. This Pterospida plant group is an advanced class in pteridophyte. Hence, the Sterospida plant group is also known as, here I am writing, also known as fern plants. Ferns plants, also known as fern plants. Okay, so they are Pterospida plant group, also known as, commonly known as fern plants. Okay, so these all are introduction, no need to write. So now let's discuss what this exactly Homosporous and heterosporous. So before we discussing, one more point you need to remember right now. Generally, here one more important concept regarding to these questions, and that is here plant body sporophyte. It also has two plant body. The pteridophyte, here this pterido has two plant body. So here first sporophytic plant body. So that is 2m. The sporophytic plant body contain root, stem and leaf. Remember, and is also known as sporophyll. This leaf also known as sporo. Also leaf structure is also known as sporophyll. Why means this leaf sporophyll which contain a structure called, this sporophyll contain a structure called sporangium. The sporophyll contain sporangium. How means, for example, here I am explaining. So see, this is the leaf structure in sporophyte plant body of pteridophyte, in which this leaf is known to be as a sporophyll. Why? Because this leaf contain some like these structures. So this structure is called sporangium. And these sporangium structure, remember, so this sporangium structure, and inside this sporangium there is a spores are produced. Spores are present. So here sporangium share, sporangium produce spores. Remember, sporangium produce spores. So here in sporophyte plant body leaf also known as sporophyll. Why? Because it contains sporangium on its surface, and this sporangium contain spores. Like inside we have what? Spores. So spores produce in sporangium present on leaf, that is sporophyll is a part of sporophyll is a part of sporophyte. Here phyll is a word represent leaf, phyte means plant. Sporophyll is a part of sporo. Okay, so here spores are produced in sporangium present on sporophyll is a part of sporophyte. Okay, and these spores, majority of the pteridophyte plants having homosporous. Remember, note here, majority of the pteridophyte spores are homospores. Homospores, majority. Here I am writing majority of pteridophytic spores are homospores, means they have only similar kind of spores. So homo means same, similar kind of spores only they contain. What exactly homosporous and heterosporous? So these all are introduction regarding to pteridophyte. No need to write all these things. So definition for homosporous and heterosporous. Okay, right. So here homo pterido. So here homosporous pteridophytes means, here remember, the plants which produce only one kind of spores. The plant which produce only one kind of spores, such spores are called homosporous. So here remember example of pteridophytic plants like lyco and pteris. Remember these two examples, that's enough. Okay, so here the important thing, highlight word is only one kind of spores. Highlight this. The plant which produce only one kind of spores, all spores are similar in structures. Such spores are called homo. Means remember, homo is a word always represents similar, means only one kind. Now coming to heterosporous, quite opposite to this hetero, pterido. So in heterosporous, in which the plants which produce two different kind of spores, very important, two different kind of spores. The plant which produce two different kind of spores, such plants are called heterosporous. So here two different kind, in which one is microspore. Generally this microspore is a male spore, and another one is megaspore. Generally megaspore is a female spores. So like which two different kind of spores are present, such spores are called hetero. So here remember, hetero is a word, always remember different kind of spores. Here two different kind of spores, hence they are called heterospores, in which one kind of spore is microspore, they are male spore, and it is small in size. And here mega are female spores, and it is larger in size, larger spore. And this one smaller spore, larger and smaller spores. Remember. And here example for heterosporous pteridophyte, that is Selaginella and Salvinia. So these two are example for heterosporous. Okay, in exam you need to write only this point. So what is homosporous and example, and what is heterosporous, give example. That's it. So no need to write all those things. Just it is only for your understanding. I have explained. That's it. Only this much information about Homosporous and heterosporous, and give 2 examples. That's me. Okay. So fourth short answer question here. So that is, what is heterospory and its significance, and give 2 examples. Short answer question only we discuss what is heterosporous and what is homosporous. So simply we can, heterospory means, here we can write hetero means the plant which produce 2 different kind of spores are called heterospory, in which, so here we need to write their significance, and 2 different spores, like one is microspores and another one is mega. Okay, such type of spores is called heterospory, and remember their significance here. And this microspore develop into, remember, this microspore develop into male gametophyte, very important. This microspore later develop into male gameto, and here this megaspore develop into female gameto. Remember, here male gametophyte develop from microspore and female gametophyte develop from this megaspore, and these, then this male gametophyte release its male gametes. Okay, male gametes, and here female gametophyte contain, we know that this female gametophyte contain female gametes within it, female gametes. Here female gametes are nothing but egg. So here what happened, this male gamete is fused with this female gamete, so fusion, or also we can use another term, that is 40 of this male gamete fused with this female gamete or egg. So the resulted structure of fusion or fertilization is formation of zygote. So zygote will be formed. The formed zygote is always 2L. These formed zygote later develop into embryo, and these embryo later develop into seeds. So here embryo later develop into seeds. So this is this event, complete this event. Remember, so these complete events, this event is a precursor. This complete event is a precursor to the seed habits. So first time seed habit are seen in this heterosporous. Remember why? Because see, seed develop from, embryo develop from zygote formed by female gamete with male gamete, like that. So these events precursor to the seed habit, and this is considered as a, and these whole events are considered to be as a, one more point here you need to write, these events are considered as an important step in evolution. It is considered, these events are considered as a important steps in evolution. So here first time seed habit or seed will be formed in this heterosporous, remember. And here you need to remember in example here. So all these are significance, from here to here you need to write significance and give to example. So best example, here we have 2 best example for heterosporous. So we know that they are, one is Selagi, and one more is, another one is Salvinia, Selaginella and Salvinia. So Selaginella also known as spike moss, and here Salvinia also known as water moss. Remember, spike moss and water moss. So this Selaginella and Salvinia are the best example for heterosporous. So this is all about the, you need to write all these points here. Okay, so all these points you need to write under what is heterospory and its significance, and give 2 example. Okay, that is quick short answer question. Economic importance of algae and bryo. First we will discuss economic importance of algae. Right. So here first, this algae play important role in environment and food chain. How means we will discuss environment and food chain. So in which first, so this algae play important role for carbon dioxide fixation. How means here this algae carry out at least half, means 50% of total carbon dioxide fixation. So at least half means 50% of total carbon dioxide fixation on Earth carried out by algae via photo. So it means that 50% of the carbon dioxide in atmosphere get reduced by algae by photo. By means, how means this photosynthesis, for photosynthesis we require carbon dioxide and water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll pigment, and it gives rise to food. It prepares food, C6H12O6, and also it gives oxygen. Okay, so means half of the, means 50% of the total carbon dioxide fixation or earth which is carried out by algae. Okay, and one more here. So due to this fixation of carbon dioxide, this algae provide oxygen provider, which act as oxygen provider. How means? So due to this photosynthesis process, which increase the which increase the level of oxygen in the environment, which increase the oxygen level in environment due to this photosynthesis process by fixation of 50% of the carbon dioxide by algae. And also important, due to this carbon dioxide fixation, there is a preparation of food. So hence they provide primary producers. They are act as a primary. They act as primary producers. They act as primary producer to the all aquatic mammals. Aquatic mammals. Okay. So not mammals here. Aquatic animals. So they act as a primary producer. Hence they are primary food and chief producer in the all aquatic animals here, because they produce food. Hence, they act as a primary producer to all aquatic animals. Okay, so due to only fixation of this carbon dioxide, half of the total 50% of the total carbon dioxide fixation is carried out by the algae. So that is the important role of algae. Okay, and role we discuss here. Second role, direct human use. Algae used as by direct human means. So here in direct use means in which we have some edible algae. So means directly we can take algae as a food, in which some algae like porphyra algae and lami and also sargassum. So these are the few algae used as directly food, used directly as a food. That there's such algae are called edible algae. So we can use these algae are used directly as food. Okay, and there are some algae they are giving food to the space traveler. So hence space food. Space food. There are some algae like unicellular algae like chlorella and also one more spirulina. So these two unicellular algae, green algae, these two are what? These two be green algae or unicellular algae. These two green unicellular algae are rich in protein. It contains high rich protein content. Rich in protein content. Hence, they used as food supplements. They used as food supplements by space traveler. Okay, so like that, the usage of algae, and they also provide food for the space traveler. Next, third, algae are used as a commercial product to produce commercial product. To produce commercial products, in which first hydrocolloids they use to produce hydrocolloids product. Hydrocolloids means here water. These products are water holding gums product. Okay, like hydro to produce this commercial product like hydrocolloid product. So we use two important algae, from which that is brown algae. So from brown algae we can produce algine. Brown algae produce algine hydrocolloid commercial product. And even though from red algae also produce kerosene here. Kerosene hydrocolloid product. See, this algine and kerosene both are used as a what hydrocolloid product to produce hydro products. Very important. And here and there are some algae from which we can obtain agar and agar. Very important. This agar and these agar and agar which is obtained from red algae, which is obtained from red algae, which is obtained from red algae. That is rhodophyceae algae. So especially which is obtained from two red algae like Gelidium and Gracilaria. From Gelidium and Gracilaria algae, red algae, from which we can obtain this agar. And these agar and agar used in labs, used in laboratory, in lab. Why means to grow microbes, carbohydrate supplement to the microbes. And these agar agar also used commercially, also which is used commercially to make commercial. It is also used commercially to make like ice creams and jellies. To make ice creams and jellies also we can use this agar. Okay, remember. And importance of this product is iodine. So we can extract iodine, and these iodine are essential for synthesis of thyroid hormone T3 and T4. So iodine is essential. Due to if deficiency of iodine, enlargement of thyroid glands. So iodine which was extracted. So iodine was extracted from brown algae. It was extracted from brown algae. So this is all about the economic importance of algae. Remember three. Okay. So like their environmental food chain importance they have, and they also have direct human use, and they also have commercial product use. So we need to write all these uses of or importance of algae. Now we'll discuss economic importance of bryophytes. Yes. So here next economic importance of bryo. Here first, these bryophytes used as food and fuel. Means here first food. Here bryophytes used as food source, like food sources, means it provide food. It provide food for herbaceous mammals. Many herbaceous mammals, plant eating mammals, herbaceous mammals, and also birds and other animals. So most of the bryophyte plants are provided, especially mosses. Moss plant provide food for various herbaceous mammals, birds, and other animals. And very peat production. Moss plant, that is sphagnum. So this sphagnum plant, bryophyte plant, which provide peat, which provide sphagnum plant, bryophyte moss plant, which provide peat. And these peat used as fuel. This peat used as fuel. Remember, very important. Sphagnum. Hence, this sphagnum is also known as peat moss. And this peat used as fuel. And also remember, this sphagnum, very important. Sphagnum has here sphagnum. Second point you need to write like this. Sphagnum has high water holding capacity. The sphagnum has high water holding capacity. Hence, we can use it for and transport and shipments of plant materials. Okay, so due to having high water holding capacity, we can use this sphagnum as a transport and shipment of plant materials and any other material, even other materials. Remember, very important. And one more important point here, that is these bryophytes are pioneer species in lichens, pioneer species in rock. So remember, these are pioneer species. This pioneer species along with lichens, this bryophyte, in especially in bryophyte mosses, use as a pioneer species along with lichens in rock colonization. And the last point, fourth point here you need to remember. So that is, they prevent soil erosion. They control or prevent or control soil erosion from washing away top layer. So preventing top soil layer from heavy rain. So to prevent or to control this soil erosion, also these bryophytes play important role. So these are the various important roles of bryophytes. Remember, food and fuel, food source, and peat production, especially sphagnum also used for transport and shipment of plant material. Why? Because this sphagnum has high water holding capacity, and these are the pioneer species along with lichens on rock, and they prevent, very important, and they control soil erosion, means soil layer from heavy rain. Okay, so these all are various importance of bryophytes. So complete chapter 4, plant kingdom short answer questions. So we will discuss 5 important short answer questions. Okay, so thank you, have a nice day.